Hey everybody, this is Tim with Let'sJamGuitar.com. I am at RNA Music in Canton, Texas, and we're here to talk to you about some guitar strings.
Hi, I'm Ryan from RNA Music. And we're here to talk about guitar strings, apparently. Yeah.
Very cool, man. I appreciate you doing this today.
No problem, dude.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
I know I just sort of jumped right into this.
No, that's exciting. I'm glad you're doing it.
Very cool.
Let's talk about strings.
Cool. Well, just kind of a quick history on guitar strings. Did you know that guitar strings are actually older than guitars?
Well, strings have been around a
Yeah.
while. I didn't know about, I haven't researched the dates or
Yeah, no, back in the day, I think it was like, oh man, I want to say it was like the 13th century or something. They used to use animal guts and stuff for strings,
Yeah.
right? Well, they didn't have ye old RNA music that you could go to.
They had animals.
They had animals. They had to use what was on hand, and so pretty much strings themselves were multi-instrument.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, whatever instrument you were playing, that's what you were using.
Yeah, lute.
So, yeah. But the six-string guitar started gaining popularity in like the 18th century, I think it was.
Something like that.
And piano wire was the big.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing. And then of course they moved away from gut and stuff because better materials were made.
Yeah.
And stuff like
Innovation.
that. Yeah.
Innovation.
Innovation.
The corporate takeover.
Yeah. So.
Guts are stinky.
That's true. That's true. It's yeah.
I don't know if they really are. I've never played on actual gut. I don't know if it would feel similar, like maybe to nylon strings. If that's, nylon approximates the feel of gut more.
That's true.
It would kind of make sense, maybe, but
I don't know. The tonal properties are probably not as good as the stuff that we're making today.
probably not.
Yeah.
I would doubt. It's kind of like, steel makes a better sword than a rock does.
That's true. That's true.
And diamond is even better.
Yep.
If you play Minecraft.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about strings and stuff. Ryan, as you know, my videos are pretty much geared towards the beginning guitar player or people that are interested in, jumping into guitar. And I thought maybe we kind of get your opinion. You've been a proprietor in business now for 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
4 years?
Definitely. I've worked for other music stores who shall remain unnamed. Big stores, but yeah, for my self-employed owning music store, 4 years now.
Yeah, but a ton of musical experience behind you, and so
yes.
I figured you'd be the right man for the job.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. Everybody has one.
Yeah. So for the beginning guitar player, the guys that are starting out on acoustic and electric guitar, what kind of strings do you recommend for them? I mean,
well, for acoustic guitar, kind of industry standard, and most guitars come from the factory with 12s. That's sort of the normal thing for acoustic guitar. And so I sell a lot of 12s. I keep a lot of those in stock. But what I've discovered lately...
Let me stop you there. What is a 12 exactly?
Well, that's the diameter of the smallest, the first string, the E string. So it's 0.012. So that's just the diameter of the string. So 0.012, now we shorten that to just 12s. So saying, I use 0.012s to 0.056s. What do you use?
I use rock and roll.
I just play awesome. Now, so when I say 12s, that's like they generally measure strings in sets by the gauge of the smallest string. So that's what I mean by 12s, just shorthand.
All right.
So that's a good tip for you guys who don't know that stuff yet.
Important tip.
Important information. If someone comes in, like you go into a store, because this happens a lot. I have people come in like, I need some regular guitar strings. And so kind of like, okay, acoustic? Yeah, acoustic strings. So they're thinking, acoustic guitar is the real guitar. And then electric guitar is an electric guitar. But the regular guitar is the acoustic guitar. So you deal with that a lot. And that's cool, because they don't know.
Yeah.
So it's information. So I'll usually say, oh, you want acoustic strings? Yeah, acoustic. Well, do you know what gauge? And they're like, I don't know. What do you mean gauge? 12s, 13s, 10s? I don't know. Mediums? Okay. So generally, 12s are kind of what, like if you went to a guitar store somewhere and you bought a guitar off the wall, acoustic guitar, it's probably got 12s on it.
Okay.
So that's sort of the general. Now those are kind of classified as a light gauge, which I think is kind of odd because in general, the next step higher, 13s, is classified as a medium.
Okay.
And then 12s are classified as light, and then 11 is like custom light, and then 10 is like super light.
Gotcha.
For acoustic guitars. But in my mind, that's kind of funny because generally the heaviest I've ever seen anybody play, mostly on acoustic, is 13s.
Right.
So 13s are kind of like the heaviest you would play.
Yeah.
But they're called mediums on the package.
Hey, don't judge. They're doing the best they can.
So, so it's kind of funny. But 12s are sort of the general. Now, for a beginner, because it's tough on your fingertips, it takes a lot more hand strength, and it's harder on your fingertips to play acoustic guitar. What I've found the last couple of months is 11s, which is 0.011 to 0.052. Oh, there's your camera. Wrong camera, right? These have been very, very popular because it's a bit easier on the fingertips,
Okay.
and a little bit less muscle strength required to fret the strings. But even then, because we'll have, particularly for kids, because I have people take lessons like 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds. D'Addario, well, everybody else too, but D'Addario in particular, they actually make some extra light acoustic strings that are 0.010 or 10 to 47. These are great for like straight up beginners because they definitely will not tear your fingers up as bad.
Okay, cool.
In the beginning, and you can kind of build up your tolerance and start with 10s, kind of, a couple of weeks, then jump to 11s, kind of build up the strength, build up the calluses, and then maybe jump to 12s if you want to. But interesting about the 10s though, I thought that was like really light for acoustic personally, but I have a guy who came in, actually the guy who taught me to play, I took lessons from when I was a kid. And he's a bass player, so he has no fingertips. Like you couldn't fingerprint him, there's nothing there. He's been playing for 35, 40 years, right? And he comes in and asks for, hey man, I need some 10s for my acoustic. I just thought, what? What's up, dude? Isn't that kind of light? And he's like, let me tell you something. He schooled me, because he knows more than I do. He's played forever. He's like, let me just tell you something, Ryan. If you have an acoustic gig that you have to play for 3 hours straight, non-stop, at the end of the gig, you're happy you had 10s. I thought, makes sense. So even for guys who are, experienced and have played for forever, depending on the kind of gig you got.
And even though this is a beginner video, that's a pro tip.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
So don't be ashamed if you're like,
yeah,
oh, you play 10s? Wuss. No. There are dudes who are like pros who've been playing their whole lives who will use 10s in certain situations. So
important tip, everybody.
Yeah, that's good.
So what about electric on the electric side?
Electric guitar, kind of the same thing. It's weird how things change like over like the last 20 years. When I was younger, learning to play guitar, like 9s, which would be 0.009 on the package, like 9 to 42s, 9 to 46. 9 to 42. I was right first time. You always trust the first thought. 9 to 42s, back, in the mid 90s, early 90s, you bought a guitar off the shelf, it came with 9s.
Right.
Generally, that was sort of normal.
Yeah.
Nowadays, most guitars straight off the rack come with 10s. So I find that to be interesting, but because 25 years ago you would say, yeah, start with 9s. Nowadays, guitars are coming with 10s on them. But for beginners, it's kind of the same thing. Though electric guitar is a lot easier on your hands, like less strength involved to play electric guitar than acoustic guitar. The 9s will definitely be easier, I think, for a beginner. 10s, that's kind of, it wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Because 10s on an electric would be like the lightest you would go on an acoustic.
That's true.
So 9s or 10s, I'd probably go with 9s though for a beginner on electric. They make smaller ones. They make like 8s.
Yeah.
I had a guy who wanted 8s and 8.5s, and I thought that's a little, for my taste, that's a little thin.
Well, a lot of jazz guys will use light strings like that.
Yeah, they have really fine motor control, really light touch,
Yeah, and they got to play like insanely fast runs.
Yeah. Billy Gibbons uses really tiny strings.
Yes, he does.
Like 8s.
Yeah, he uses 8s, and there's something special about his guitar. I can't remember what it is, but
he owns it. It's owned by Billy Gibbons. That's what makes it special.
Other than the fact that it's a Gibson, I mean.
Yeah. So I kind of definitely recommend electric guitar beginner, nines, it's great. You know, especially younger the player is. You know, if you're an adult,
Yeah.
if you're a man or a lady who's an adult, 10s would not be bad. But yeah, you can start with 9s too.
Yeah. So, okay, now, when I was starting out, I had no money at all. And not much has changed.
I know what that's like.
But sometimes I would mix and match sets. Do you recommend people use electric strings on acoustic guitars?
Electric. I don't really recommend it. But I mean, if you're in a pinch and that's what you got to make it work, you could.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be optimum. You're not going to get the best result from it, but you could do it.
Yeah. I've heard that question before from people, and I can tell you it doesn't sound the same.
It doesn't sound right, you know. It's not the best.
No.
But if it's what you got and all you got, then work with what you got and save up $5 and go buy some strings, you know. But yeah, let's talk about tunings because people are using crazy tunings today.
That's definitely one of those. Let's talk about tunings.
Yeah, with a lot of the rock stuff. I'm a rock guy. You know, you're like bluesish.
Yeah.
Bluesy.
Every now and then I'll dip into classic rock or country, but
yeah, strong blues roots.
Strong blues roots, and deep roots and awesome.
Deep roots and awesome. Yeah, I'm a rock dude, kind of back in the day. So I'm hard rock metal, and to nowadays there's people are down tuning so much, you know, and so if that's what you're into, like if you're a beginner and you're like, hey, I want to play some, I don't know, what's a heavy band? I want to play some. There's a lot of these bands playing 7-strings, 8-string guitars, or even a drop tuning, like to drop C, drop C sharp, drop A, all kinds of stuff. You can get, I mean, they make strings for everything. They have strings that are made for the lower tuning stuff, so that's kind of something you want to factor in. Like, you don't want to play, like, drop A with 10s, because they'll just be flopping in the breeze. But
unless you're Rob Chapman. He did that in a video recently.
If you're Rob, you can do whatever you want. Yeah. But, you know, there's gauges for like everything. I'm kind of amazed because I'm a real big proponent of Dario. They've been a great partner for us at RNA Music, and they make like every single gauge you could ever think of. Like I've never even ordered all the different gauges they have because they just have one. There's one for every situation. If you're like jazz guys have certain gauges they prefer, blues guys have certain gauges they prefer, rock guys have, you know, what they want, and then the metal guys are like the thicker the better.
Yeah.
How low can we go on a 6-string? Can I get a 70?
Yeah. Can we take the
6-string?
The power lines down and throw them on my guitar?
Yeah. So for almost every situation and style of music that you play, you can find gauges that you like, and you can even a lot of guys are into the making a custom gauge because you can buy individuals and like, well, I've got to have the B string needs to be this, and they don't make a gauge for that. And so I think it's kind of silly myself, personally. Now, there are guys who are gonna, you know, if it's what you like, it's what you like.
Sure.
But sometimes it's taking it a little far. Just get some strings.
Yep.
Go play some guitar. All right. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Being kind of more of a blues guy, like what kind of gauges do you like to use?
I'm pretty much straight up 10s.
Straight up 10s?
Yeah. It depends on the neck of the guitar, how it responds. I've got a Stratocaster parts caster that I've kind of put together. It started off as a Squire. I paid $52 on eBay for.
Perfect.
And I just have slowly upgraded and parted the guitar to become, you know, what it is today. But I use a hybrid 9 to 46 on that guitar. And the reason I do that is because the neck, it's not as full as a normal Strat neck. It seems like it's a little bit thinner.
Yeah.
And so the 946 is, I don't know, they feel right on the neck.
Yeah. We were just talking out in the shop because I had somebody come to get some strings, and I think I had like 3 sets of 9s, so I graded 9 to 42s. Yep. That's sort of normal. Like if you say 9s, we're talking 9 to 42. Well, they had 9 to 44s, I think.
46.
9 to 46. No, because it was 10 to 44. That was a weird gauge too.
They have the 9.5. There's a telephone call.
Dang it. Not dang it. Someone's going to buy something. RNA Music. Yes.